Hour-long footage? Oh god, I guess we should just do that now. Hang on a second. Everyone was talking about all this stuff, so I guess we'll just fire it up and hope it's good. Square Enix has the full panel. I think this is the same thing. Oh, this is about 20 minutes. Here, let's start off with the 20-minute one, and we'll see how it goes, because I don't know if I'm ready for the hour. I want to play some dang Resident Evil, but at the same time, we haven't seen a lot of this game yet.
The thing that we've talked about repeatedly is how we built this game on 4 pillars.
その一つ目、まずはストーリーです。
So first and foremost of those pillars is story.
今回ファイナルファンタジー16ではシリーズ原点回帰としてハイファンタジーの世界で、奥の深い物語、それから
that's a fake dog. I was like, what the hell is he petting,
政治的な
dude?
要素たくさん、詰め込んで若い世代のプレイヤーから、まあ、僕今年50歳ですが
It's a fake
僕のようなおっさ
Torgal.
んゲーマーまで全ての年代の人に、楽しんでもらえるストーリーを一生懸命作ってきました。
So with Final Fantasy XVI, it's always been our aim to bring back the series to its high fantasy roots, exploring these complex themes such as justice and values, while weaving a deep and sweeping narrative complete with politics, conflict, and intrigue. We wanted to create something that would not only resonate with a younger generation of players just stepping out on their own, but also with older players like me. I'm going to be 50 years old this year, and we already know how harsh the real world can be.
そして2つ目、もちろんそのストーリーを彩るキャラクターこだわってきました。
Yoshida pulls off a
is our characters.
very
キ
young
ャラクター
50,
はですね、
right?
今回国のすべてそして愛する弟を失ったクライブ・ロズフィールドという男の
Don't date
復讐か
yourself.
ら物語幕を開けますが、さまざまな登場人物、価値観、それから脅威、
He's a
いろんなものがこう
chain smoker?
ぶつか
Everybody
り
in
合って
Japan that has a
群像劇の
stressful
ように
job is a
キャ
chain
ラクター
smoker,
描かれ
dude.
ていきます。ぜひご注目ください。
All right, while our main focus of Final Fantasy XVI is, and the narrative is fixed upon Clive Rosfield as he seeks vengeance for the loss of his nation and his family, our game features a vast ensemble cast of compelling characters, each unique in their own backgrounds and motivations. And their stories, players will watch unfold around Clive's in this veritable clash of wills.
そして3つ目、やはりシリーズ期待されるのがグラフィックス。
Visuals?
今回はプレイステーション5のパワーを使って
I
です
see
ね、
traversing in an open world environment.
グラフィックスクオリティ追求してき
Right?
ま
I
した。
see open world
And of course,
traversal
we
environment
cannot forget
stuff. I
graphics.
like
Our
it.
team has worked very hard to create this unparalleled visual experience that's only possible with the power of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, Sony bought him out, man.
You are Square Enix?
I'm Square Enix, not Sony.
Not Sony?
Not Sony.
Oh, it's okay.
We love you, Sony. The power of the PlayStation 5.
そして4つ目、バトルシステムになります。
And finally, and possibly most importantly, is our battle system.
今回は特にですね、シリーズ初のチャレンジとしてリアル
It's, I mean, there's a funny note. That's one of those things that probably ultimately prevents these games from hitting certain sales numbers. Like FF15 got really good sales because it was essentially on everything, right? It had no limitations to what consoles it was coming out on, and it had ridiculously good sales as a result. That's going to be different for 16, and especially because it's only on PS5. And it's going to be, it was different for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't think we actually got the final sales numbers on 7 Remake, but the fact that so much of it was locked to either next-gen Sony or, you know, at the time, previous-gen Sony was a big deal, man. That meant that, like, it was not going to reach the same audience that other titles could, just because there's way less people. There's way less people that will be interested on this specific platform, and it took, you know, a while for the PC version to exist. The same thing's going to happen to FF16, but it doesn't matter, most likely because the sales numbers are making up for the fact that Sony gave them a lot of fucking money. Sony probably gave them an absolute shit ton of money to make those exclusives for PS5 and PS4.
タイムのアクション、バトルというところに、ものすごくこだわって作ってきました。
And so our dedication has been to create this exciting combat system that, for the first time in the series, introduces full real-time action combat.
特にですね、今回召喚獣にフィーチャーした召喚獣同士の激突を描いた召喚獣合戦、これらすべての要素でまるで
Think it'll be on Xbox in the future? No.
その手でプレイしているような感覚をぜひお
We
届
already
けしよ
found
うと
out
思ってます。
FF7 ain't coming to Xbox.
Players will get to experience this thrilling summon versus summon battles, which put Clive in control of an icon of his own to carry out battles on a massive scale. The Final Fantasy series has long been described as a cinematic experience, but now we can truly liken this to actually playing an Hollywood action blockbuster.
では喋ってばっかりだと飽きるので、この4
Yes,
つのキラー
we
まとめ
picked
て
up on that
ダイ
from
ジ
the
ェスト
previous
で
gameplay.
カットシーンだったりバトルだったり
PS5s aren't that hard to get. I went to Target the other day. They had PS5s just sitting on the shelf.
All right, but talk is cheap, so we've prepared a short video of captured in-game footage showcasing the 4 pillars. Let's start.
Cool. Cool.
I only stand here today because of Joshua. 13 years I've waited for this chance. I've slept in filth, drunk from a gutter, killed more men than I can count.
Good start.
Not this time.
Oh, wait. Is there a 4K version of this? Wait. Is there like a 4K version of this solid-ass 20 minutes? Does that exist? Is it on the Square Enix channel? Hold on a sec. Yeah, the bitrate is doo-doo. It was a 1080p stream. Oh, this was all from a 1080p stream. Then it's not sourced 4K. It's just... Okay. This is what it is. There wasn't like an official release to a Corel.
Ready, my lady?
Ready.
Good old Ifrit bullshit. Yeah, this is the fight we already saw a bunch of stuff on. What am I even looking at? Holy dumb shit, dude. What am I even... You're actually fighting that thing? Wow, he is fighting that thing. Oh, there's a lot more fights. With these big, like, Asura's Wrath icon battles. Mm-hmm.
ありがとうございます。Thank you。まあ今日のパネルまだまだビデオをご用意してますので、ぜひ最後まで楽しんでいってください。
And that is not the only video we're going to be showing you. We have many more videos to be showing you today, so please look forward to them as well.
今見ていただいたような、シーンすべて、リアルタイムに描いておりますし、ローディング画面一切ありませんので、ジェットコースターのような体験をお届けしていきたいと思ってます。
And everything you saw here, this is not pre-rendered. This is all running in real time, in engine. It is a veritable roller coaster ride of a game.
では続いてちょっと世界観、触れていきたいと思います。
All right, next we'd like to talk a little bit about the world.
今回16の物語の舞台バリスゼア
Remember we thought this might be coming out last year?
5つの国家と1つの自治領で構
Felt
成
so
さ
long
れてい
ago.
ます。
All right, so the realm of Valisthea is made from 5 different nations and 1 neutral city-state.
このバリスゼアには巨大なマザークリスタルと呼ばれる存在がいくつか点在しています。これは、現実の世界でいう油田のようなものだと覚えておいてください。
So across the realm can be found the mother crystals, these towering wellsprings of life and magic around which civilization thrives. One might think of these as oil fields.
そのマザークリスタルから溢
This
れ
is a
出る
bit
エーテ
after
ル、まあこれ
Street
が
Fighter
石油のよう
6.
な
It's
も
at
ので
least
す
like a
人
couple
々は
weeks
そのエー
after.
テルを使って暮らしていたんですが、いよいよそのマザークリスタルから溢れ出るエーテルが枯渇し始めたというところから物語は始まっていきます。
And these oil fields, these mother crystals, are where the realm gains its energy that powers their everyday lives, the ether, which can be compared to oil. And so this resource, however, proves to be finite, and because of that, this bitter struggle arises amongst the nations over control of what little remains.
Yoshi P hard carrying Square. He has been for a long time.
In
In
And that brings us
2020,
into the current age of war and strife.
FF7 remake hard carried Square because of the absolute bomb that was
Right,
Avengers.
and we have another video that's going to showcase our areas.
ここではですね、この冒険
If FF7 remake didn't drop the same year as the Avengers crash, we might be in a much different situation now. Right? If that did not happen, where those two games didn't meet on the same to counteract each other in terms of like how the company's performance was, we might be in a Sony, it might be Sony Square Enix, something like that. Sony would have probably bought them. They might not be independent anymore. That could have definitely happened. Their value could have been severely damaged suddenly just from one bad quarter, which will absolutely happen in this industry. It's happened to Capcom several times. 7 Remake sales in that pandemic likely saved the fucking company because of all the insane amount of money they spent on Avengers and they did not recoup it.
の舞台バリスゼアをいろんな地域ウォークスルーでまとめてありますのでご覧いただきましょう。
And so we're going to be showing some of the areas that are.
Did they really
available
put that
for
much on
exploration.
Avengers? Hundreds of millions, from what I understand. They lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars on Avengers. It was expensive. It was not a cheap game.
In Final Fantasy XVI with this short walkthrough video. Let's begin.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Yeah, what was it? They lost 350 million or something like that on Avengers? Maybe they spent that much? Crazy. Oh man, dude, this is almost to the level and degree that I think people are expecting from 7 Remake Part 2, right? Large zones? Look at this shit. This is pretty much what a lot of people were expecting from size-wise from the zones of like 7 Remake 2. I'm assuming. And it's not a tease. These are completely different divisions. It's not a tease at all. It's just showing like a comparison, you know? They're not going the same level of openness as a Final Fantasy 15 because you do not need to. This is so sick looking, dude. Show up fighting something, please. I want to run around these places and listen to music and then hunt like notorious monsters and shit. Please. Please, Square. That's what I want. That is what I want out of this shit. I was worried it's like a teenager. God, dude, I said this before when we were looking at the previous footage. There is something about the back silhouette of this character that is so goddamn Capcom-y, it's insane. Like, and that seems weird, but it's like a really specific design decision of how your character silhouettes and stuff. And holy shit, dude, this guy when he's just standing around looks so badass. It's so good. Some like Castlevania shit, yeah, kinda. So this is just like zone porn. Zone porn. That's all it is. Damn. Can't wait to do everything in this game. Can't wait to like 100% this game like we practically did for Final Fantasy VII Remake and I'm trying to do for Resident Evil. Can't wait. Can't wait. Gonna 100% this shit.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
今ご覧いただいた映像すべて、カットシーンなどではなくプレイヤーの皆さんが主人公クライブ・ローズフィールドを、に赴き、探索しバトルをす
They
るエ
had
リ
to
ア
flip
に
the
なってま
VHS
す。
tape.
And again, what we just showed you is these are not cutscenes. These are all areas that Clive will be able to go to and explore and have battles.
ぜひですねこの 6E の世界バリスゼアの、世界を
This is cool, but it's no Dragon's Dogma 2. Here's what's funny about that as I, give it a second. Here's what's funny about that. Dragon's Dogma might actually be even more RPG-y than Final Fantasy XVI at the end game. If not, maybe very similar. Just like stat-wise and all that kind of stuff. Those might be very similar kind of games. Dragon's Dogma is no Final Fantasy, but Dragon's Dogma is pretty Final Fantasy XVI in a lot of ways. They're kind of... However, I think the combat might be a bit more deep in this game. Dragon's Dogma does have really good combat. It's still an RPG for sure, but they're somewhat comparable. Also, Dragon's Dogma is like a 10-year-old game. We really need to see something on Dragon's Dogma 2 to come to like an actual conclusion, but really they're not that much different in terms of like what is the actual game. They're not that much different now.
冒険するのを楽しみにお待ちください。
And again, we hope you have fun exploring the world.
This is more of an action game, dude.
続いてセクションとして進むのが、キャラクター特にファイナルファンタジー16の世界で非常にユニーク現実と違うのが
It might just end up being like a 30 to 40 hour Devil May Cry.
という存在になります。
All right, next we'd like to shift focus to our characters, specifically the dominants, these wardens of the elements and the keepers of the icons that play such a central role in our narrative.
このバリスゼアの世界には召喚獣という圧倒的な力を持った存在がおり、20メートルほどのものから、全長120メートルのような巨大なものまで、様々に登場してきます。
But what are the icons? The icon is a Final Fantasy XVI name for what fans of the series will know as the summons, these mythical, giant, magical beasts of legend, capable of taking out entire nations if not kept in check. In Final Fantasy XVI, their size ranges from 60 feet to over 350 feet tall.
そしてこの巨大な召喚獣をその身に宿し、人でありながら召喚獣へと変身していく、そんなキャラクターのことをドミナントと呼んでいます。
But unlike other Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 16's icons are not summoned, but it is the dominants who literally become the icons themselves.
このドミナントたち、国によっては、非常に敬われている場合もありますが、奴隷のように兵器のように扱われるなど国によって扱いが様々に違います。
But icons are not just about battle. In Final Fantasy XVI, we deeply explore the backgrounds of each one, and we find that their fates vary greatly based on where they reside. Some are revered as heroes, while others are forced to fight and are treated as slaves.
Yeah, I don't know who this last one's supposed to be. He looks crazy. Looks like a judge.
葛藤とか理想とか、苦悩そういったもの価値観も含めてそういったもののぶつかり合いが、16のドラマ性の一つとなっています。
Again, one of our central points of our narrative is going to be learning what drives these dominants. What are their aspirations and what are their desires? Why are they fighting? And what are they fighting for?
ではここで、主人公のクライブ・ローズフィールドを紹介させていただきます。
Right, now let's take a quick look at our main protagonist, Clive Rosfield.
今回物語の主人公
Wonder if
ク
we're
ライ
gonna
ブ・
be
ローズフィールドとい
bouncing
います
back
が
and forth.
こちらねスクリーンショットご覧いただくと分かるよう
Like
に
it starts off with Clive old, but then we're going to bounce back and flashback to him being like in his 20s and in his teens.
この3つの時代を壮大に描いていきます。
And so, our story in Final Fantasy XVI follows Clive Rosfield through three important stages of his life. As you can see here from the left, his teens, his 20s, and his 30s.
クライブ自身がどういったキャラクターなのかというのを皆さん自身プレイヤー自身がしっかり、理解するためにも、彼の少年期からじっくり追うことでですね彼の考え方とか、そういったものが理解できるようにゲームデザインされています。
By experiencing firsthand these events that shape and mold Clive, we can better understand, the player can better understand what it is that motivates him and why he eventually becomes the person that he does.
物語の序盤、このクライ
His
ブ
hair
は
continues to eat his
その
head.
弟を殺された復讐というものに取りつかれた状態で始まります。その旅路がどんな結末を迎えていくのか、ぜひ、皆さんの手でお確かめいただければと思ってます。
Our story starts with Clive obsessed in his pursuit of revenge for the loss of his brother. But across his journey, that will slowly change through chance encounters that ultimately open his eyes to a whole different world.
ただですね、もちろんこのちょっと孤独な男クライブですが、彼にはこのね、心強い相棒のトルガルがいます。
But Clive is not alone in his journey and is accompanied by his faithful hound, Torgal, who in addition to being soft and lovable and such a good boy, is fiercely loyal and a deadly fighter. He's a good boy. Such a good boy.
Yeah, what was the name of the name of the event that this was being held at in PAX was You Can Pet the Torgal featuring Yoshi P or something like that? A Final Fantasy XVI background check?
というわけでですね、ぜひこのトルガルの活躍にもご注目ください。
So yes, this story is not only about Clive, but it's Torgal's story as well.
そして何より今回我々、大きな挑戦をしてきた、コンバットシステムですが、2大要素をご紹介していきます。
All right, and finally, let's talk a little bit more about our twin-tiered battle system that I mentioned before.
まず一つ目がクライブ自身がさまざまな召喚獣の力を得て召喚獣アビリティを駆使して戦う召喚獣アクションというものがあります。
There's more combat than one's showed in this video.
So
Oh,
Final
we'll watch
Fantasy
it.
XVI's combat can be split up into two different types. The first being player versus enemy battles, in which Clive himself fights against creatures using a customizable combination of unique and powerful iconic abilities acquired from the different icons he meets along his journey.
このアイコン、召喚獣アクションですが、プレイヤー皆さんの手で、新しいアビリティを取得したり成長させたり強化することができますので、ぜひ自分ならではのクライブをカスタムしていくというところもぜひ楽しんでいただければと思ってます。
Many different abilities can be learned and upgraded and customized in a way that's going to match each player's play style.
そしてもう一つ大きなバトルの柱、先ほどから紹介している召喚獣同士が激突する召喚獣合戦になってます。
And our second type of battle are the icon versus icon battles, in which Clive himself becomes an icon to clash with other icons.
この召喚獣合戦、
I don't know if I'm super sold on the icon battles after the one we saw.
戦いにおいて
It looked cool and epic,
いろんなゲームデザイン
but obviously like simplistic and more focused, you know?
体験になっているのではないかなと思ってます。
I'm curious to see what else they do.
Unique, massive scale encounters are all created from the ground up to have this unique feel to each of them, that it's not going to be the same every time.
ではここでまずはじめにそのクライブ自身の召喚獣アクションの一部をぜひ動画にまとめましたのでご覧いただきます。召喚獣バトルはまた後で触れていこうと思います。
Okay, so next up, we have a video that's going to showcase the first type of battle, the one that showcases Clive's iconic abilities. As for the iconic clashes, we have another video for later in the presentation. So let's watch this first one on iconic abilities.
Okay. Shit looks pretty good. I think one of the only things I'm concerned about the combat is that we haven't actually seen it running at 60 FPS, but I think they have said that there will be like performance modes. Okay, you're just Virgil. You're just Virgil. Oh no, the poor turtle. That's badass. Damn. 1440-60 is maybe what they'll do. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Cool. Game's gonna blow up your computer? I assure you it won't. Because it ain't coming out for
まあ、まだ
PC
ま
for a
だ
long time.
クライブの召喚獣アクションのコンビネーションありますので、まあ、この後のね今日だけじゃなくて、情報公開でももっと凄まじいコンビネーションアクションもねご覧いただく機会作っていこうと思いますので楽しみにしていてください。
All right, and again, what you saw in this video is only a fraction of the different type of combinations that are available and achievable through our unique system. And so we hope to release more of that information in the near future.
Ah, I need more. Ah, yeah, here we go.
ではここからはですね、先月やった1回目のメディアツアーの、皆さんからいただいているコメントなどのフォローアップをしていきたいと思います。
Okay, and so one might think that what we've shown you might be enough to satisfy the masses, but no, there are still questions, and so we understand it with all the information out there. It can be sometimes be hard to find all the answers. We did our media tour, but there's still a lot of questions, so we want to touch on a few of those today.
ちなみにこのスクリーンショットに出ているキャラクター
Snacks, chat,
結構
shut up.
重要なキャラクターだったりします。
Oh, yeah, the character that you see up here, this old man, he's actually a very, very important character in the game.
そうバリスゼアのロアをねめちゃくちゃ詳しく語ってくれるまあコージみたいなキャラクターなので
This is actually the Valisthean lore master, and he knows all about the world.
The lore
It's just fun,
master.
kind of compared him to me.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks.
そんなロアマスターに今日こんなあたり
That's what they call me. They call me the Killer Instinct Lore
And so
Master.
these are the type of questions that we had asked of us.
笑うところですよここ
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Sasa,
I think these are all things that I have said. Right? To be fair, I think these were every single thing of one of these except the ATB thing. Right? I don't think I'm on board with ATB. But I definitely said, why is it so dark? I definitely said that. I definitely said QTEs. Wow, I'm kind of surprised they're using QTEs. I said these icon battles had better not. I definitely said that. And I also have said I would kind of want there to be more RPG in this action RPG. That's funny. That's actually really funny. All things that I have relatively been critical about, except the ATB thing. The ATB thing, I'm like, kind of like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to wait around for shit, bro. Fuck that. That is not the way to go.
ために皆さんにぜひ実機も
That's
使い
some
ながら
90s
フォローアッ
shit.
プしていこうと思います。
Again, so we would like to answer all of these burning questions, and we're going to be doing that here today using the power of the PlayStation 5.
さあまず一つ目こちらです。
All right, so let's start with
Why
this
is
one,
everything
or
so
these
dark? Why is this area so small?
two, to be specific.
画面暗
That's
く
what
な
I
いか
said.
マップ狭いよねって。
Yeah, we got a lot of this. Why is it so dark? Why the area is so small?
いやいやいや
No, no, no.
You know, I sounded just like that too. To be completely honest, that's pretty much exactly what I sounded like. Why is it so dark? Why is the area so small? I hope we can do different things with the icons. That was exactly what I sounded like. That's crazy.
No, no.
まあ
Slow
落ち着いてスローダウン
Slow down,
please
Okay?
スローダウン please
Okay?
まあまあ当然暗いだけでも狭いだけでもない
That's right. It's not all dark. In the game, the areas aren't all small.
でまあなんでこうなったかというとちょっとメディアツアーにはやっぱり今回「ファイナルファンタジー16」リアルタイムアクションそのバトルをやっぱりメディアの皆さんに大丈夫ですよすごいいいアクションゲーム作りましたよと
All this is good, right? All this is good that the devs know. Like, oh, they're like, you know what? Yeah. And this is ultimately, I think they realize this, a failure on their part, where they showed too much of one thing. And that is an issue when it comes to marketing of games, where if you show too much of one thing, what is your natural conclusion when that thing is fresh in your head? You think the whole thing is that. And that's actually fair to the audience, because if you're not deviating from what is being shown very much, you're just going to come to the conclusion that everything else is this. Like, this is the whole game? Oh, God, it's the Asura's Wrath? Wow, wasn't ready for that shit. So that's why they are doing this. This is a direct answer to essentially a marketing failure when it came to the presentation of how they showed that stuff in the first sequence. And I'll be honest, That stuff went along for a little bit too long. It really did. I like to see a lot of combat in action, but the way you have to show something for the first time, you almost need to like tease instead of just like, because we haven't seen any combat really, like not anything beyond just like snippets and trailers. It went on for too long. Some parts just went on way too long. So all I'm saying is that they're correct. The audience is also correct. And it's a really good response to do something like this.
いう部分を触ってもらうために、選んだステージがちょっと夜のステージだった。
It's the same shit with Tekken 8, where people have been assuming that Tekken 8 does not have sidesteps, right? Because you do not ever see a sidestep in a trailer. Then Harada and Mike Murray are like, no, dude, it has sidesteps. It's not a 2D game, it's Tekken. People didn't see it, so they just came to the conclusion.
Okay, and so one of the biggest question marks about Final Fantasy XVI has always been the switch to the full real-time action controls. And so the media tour was set up to be an opportunity to showcase our new battle system and controls. And it just turns out that the area that we chose for that happened to be a dark area.
いやもっと明るいエリアにすればいいじゃない。
And then why didn't you choose a brighter area?
一番最初に出来上がったステージだったの。
It's because this is the stage that we had completed first and it was the most ready.
Exactly. And that's what it boils down to, right? Development pipeline stuff. And they didn't have time to like create an entire fucking demo. This was the one that was the most polished and ready. It's likely from 6 months ago or some shit like that. It's probably a build from a hell of a long time ago and not a part of like final code, which is, you know, probably going to be shipping in the near like less than a month or something like that. So realistic answer from, you know, a dev that's being real with his audience. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
いや僕だって明るいステージでやりたかった。
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to do it in a brighter stage.
まあでも幸いメディアの皆さんにはものすごくねバトルしっかり触っていただけて素晴らしいレポート書いていただいたのでぜひねまだご覧になってない方はそのバトルのレポートご覧いただきたいです。
But again, the media feedback, other than that it was pretty dark, was actually really, really good. And so if you haven't checked out those interviews yet and the media reports on their impression of the battles, please check those out.
The other thing, this is nitpicky content creator shit, understanding the opposite end of like being in game development when I did with KI and having to promote shit. The dark level doesn't translate well to YouTube. In general, darker areas don't translate well to streaming or YouTube bitrate. So they naturally have a lot of really bright, sparkly effects that likely look fucking amazing when you're looking at it on a monitor in front of you. But when you get these super sparkly effects that are everywhere, mitigated amongst a very dark background, it will look like shit. And it does look like compressed crap every once in a while. It is a bitrate killer situation.
では
Until we get AV1, man.
プレイステーション5を使ってじゃあ実際そんなに暗くないよっていうのとマップ結構広いのもたくさんあるよというのをご紹介したいと思います。
So again, to prove to you that the game isn't all tight quarters shrouded in everlasting darkness, let me whip out the old PS5.
I like the way he said that.
To show you one of our more larger explorable areas that we call fields. Right here.
じゃあ行きましょう。
All right, let's switch the screen to the PS5.
Oh, shit.
止まってない。よかっ
Okay.
た。
Whoa, menus. Whoa, menus. Holy shit. Whoa, menus. What?
It's not froze. It didn't freeze. It didn't freeze.
今ポーズかけておいたんで。
We pause it. Now we're going to unpause.
Oh.
There we go. Wait a minute. Wait. Controller. I just want to show. Look. This is not a video. Okay.
Wow.
あんなかっこ悪い動きしないでくれるかな。
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, it made Clive look bad in that, but you know, I had to show you it was real.
まあバリス
I knew that he wouldn't want him to do that. You're making him look like an idiot. Our main character only does cool shit. You know?
の世界これフィールドと呼ばれる
Oh, this is fucking great. This is exact, and it's running at 60. I'm crying here. My ass is crying.
So again, we do have
These are my
very
ass
open,
eyes.
spacious areas. This one happens to be again about 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers in size.
Oh, fuck yeah.
でちょっと進んでみましょうか。
All right, let's head over this way.
でまあこれ普通のハイファンタジーの世界にはね存在しないオブジェクトですが、こちら1500年前に存在していたと言われる空の文明と言われる謎のね、古代文明の遺跡が各所に点在してます。
Again, we mentioned before that the game is high fantasy, but everywhere in the world you're going to see these type of old relics from an ancient civilization, which we call the Fallen, which existed up until about 1,500 years ago.
Yeah, he literally has the DMC run. He literally does. I mean, chat, for anybody that is uneducated on Final Fantasy XVI at this point, and you're unaware of it, this game is actually made by Devil May Cry devs. They left Capcom a few years
実際
ago.
このフィールドの中にはこうやった、人々がね集まってキャンプなどが、
I think it was like the lead combat director of Devil May Cry 5 and 4 is now working on this game, and I think several other like not like director / producer levels also left Capcom like 3 to 5 years ago or something like that. It was a long time ago.
開かれていたりします。
And of course, in these large fields, it's not just places for battle, but you also have towns and encampments as well.
まあこういったところも基本は全くロードなし、
Cool.
シームレスにも全部進んでいきます。
Rats!
And as you see, it's all seamless from field into town. Dynamic conversations.
であんまり進むと、ストーリーが進んでしまってスポイラーになるので、
Oh, yeah.
ワールドマップの紹介をしようかな。
Okay, yeah, we can't go any further. It's about 145 more yards to the next part, and we can't show you that, so we're going to stop here, and we're going to show you the world map.
ファイナルファンタジー16ですが、このようにワールドマップというものが存在しています。
Wow.
So, with Final Fantasy XVI, we have this world map, and these are the areas
Wow.
That you can explore.
で実際にプレイヤーの皆さんは物語を進めていくとこのワールドマップに、行けるエリアというのがどん
Dude, I'm getting massive flashbacks. Like, this is... Does anyone remember the feeling that happened when FF11 came out? And then FF12 finally came out? And then when we played FF12, we're like, oh, it's kind of like FF11, but offline. It's like a single player Final Fantasy 11 in many ways, with like the zones and not as big as FF11, but the construction of the game was very FF11 like, but the battle system was obviously different. This is really giving me that feeling. Just like the crystals and the crags and all the kind of stuff that you can teleport to around the world and big zones like that are going to be seamless now, kind of like FF14, but more of a single player FF14, which would make perfect sense, you know, with a different battle system.
どんアンロックされていきます。
And as you proceed through the story, you'll be unlocking more and more areas that you can visit.
で基本的には物語ストーリーを進めるためには新しくアンロックされた場所で、まあ、バトルをしたり
This is
物
just
語の
one
展開が
continent.
起こったりするんですけどもちろんそれに従わずに他のエリアに行ってアイテムを取ってきた
Yeah,
り
it's like Aetheryte shrines, right?
モブを探したりそういったことも自由にプレイできるようになってます。
And again, of course, players can choose to, again, follow the main scenario along when you unlock new areas, or you can go back to the areas that you previously visited to have battles or search for items and just explore.
じゃあ実際どれぐらいでエリアチェンジするのか試してみようか。
All right, and now we're going to show you what it's like to actually travel to an area and how much loading time there is.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go.
Make the audience spooge.
1,
2
2,
3 4ぐらいですね。
All right, here we are. Boom.
3 seconds later.
まあナウローディング出さなくていいよっていうギリギリぐらい。
That's right. Yeah, it's just short enough that we don't have to put a now loading.
So, the interesting thing about that is in general, right, them wanting to show that off, it is important because next-gen stuff has been doing that a lot with games. Not all games on next-gen are like that. That is not a thing that's the same for everything. The important thing is that, once again, these guys are getting hella backing from Sony. Right? They're getting... This is practically getting Sony first-party treatment, but it's not technically Sony first-party, right? Like Final Fantasy VII did when it came out. So that's important to know, where there's been a lot of technical issues with games on next-gen consoles, especially games that are previous-gen and next-gen, where we're like, man, It's like, what's going on? Why is some of these like next gen ports of games just not running great, you know, just in general? They probably have a lot, not just backing from Sony financially, they probably have backing from Sony on like a development end, right? Where they like have people that know the PS5 like that made this shit literally helping with them on the development of the game to make it give it that first party Sony love, you know, where it's like, oh, you're not having to develop this on anything else. So here, we'll send you our engineers, we'll send you our guys, that you're gonna get all our first party help. It's like the same shit that happened with Final Fantasy VII, because to be completely honest, FF7, outside of a couple of technical issues when it came out, that shit was insane on a PlayStation 4, right? The loading thing of like the door and all like the skybox in a couple of situations was rough for sure. That was rough, but not intentional at all. There was a bug or something that shipped with the game, but still that game looking the way it did on base PS4 was insane. Like, holy shit, how is this running on a base PS4 type shit? I'm assuming it's the exact same thing that's happening, where this is practically like a first party Sony game with a lot of first party Sony love.
Symbol on the screen.
Is that why the PC ports are wonky? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. The games are designed for PlayStation, right? And Square's never been good at making ports. They really haven't. They're always like fan fixed or something like that. It's really unfortunate because I think 7 Remake on PC still sucks. When we play 7 Remake again eventually, you know, when we get more information on Rebirth and stuff, I'm playing that shit on console, bro. I'm playing Intergrade with the upgraded 7 Remake Part 1 and Part 2, you know? Sorry, with the Yuffie stuff. I'm playing that on console. It runs great on console. It's like 4K too. Fuck it. I don't need the PC version.
その RPG 的な要素ちょっとだけご紹介するのにセーブデータ
Crisis Core was good on
All right,
PC.
so next up, I
That's
want to
good.
show you a different type of area, an area that has a little bit more of our RPG elements in Final Fantasy XVI. So we're going to have to switch our save data.
あ、1個忘れてた
Oh, we forgot something.
今日はライブストリームも 2K の配信らしいので、今回はですねここにあるパフォ
Oh,
ーマンスモードと、グラフィックスモー
Thank
ド
you
あ
for
りますの
showing this
で、
off.
2K のフレームレート優先の
So
モードで、
4K60,
プレイをしております
2K.
Okay, so as you
4K
can see
30,
here,
2K60?
we have two different game performance modes. One that focuses on graphics and 4K graphics, and one that focuses more on frame rate. Because our stream today is in 2K, we've decided to do the frame rate performance mode.
基本的にいつでも好みで変えていただけるので、まあ、グラフィックス最優先で遊びたいよという方はグラフィックス選んでいただいて、もうアクションゴリゴリに、行くんだという方はフレームレートで遊んでいただければと思います。
But as you can see here, this can be changed at any time during gameplay. You can go from back and forth between frame rate and graphics at any time you want. So match
That's
it up
great.
with your playstyle. If you're more into the action in that frame rate, choose that frame rate mode. If you just want the beautiful experience, feel free.
That's great because some games require you to go back to like main menu to do it. Yeah, that's good.
to
That's
go with
great.
the graphics.
では、
All right, so let's load.
I really hope that the 4K version, they do the same thing that they did with 7 Remake, where it was locked to 30. I hate unlocked 4K, where it's just a meandering 30 to 60 at any given point. No, dude. Set it to something straight. And if it's 4K 30, that's still 100% playable. Like,
That pixel.
なんだろうね、なんだろうね、別のデータを読みます。
Okay, let's go to the next data, and here we are.
早いですよね。
That was it. Very quick.
Yes。
that was very fast.
こちらがですね、
For a complete other area, that was very
青
fast.
年期に訪れることになるシドルファスが組織している組織のアジトになります。
All right, so next up we have an area that's called the Hideaway. And this is an area that's run by Sid, someone that Clive meets along his journey.
This is great.
大体ここが、
Run around,
皆
please.
さんのベースキャンプのようなものになるとイメージしていてください。
And this is kind of like a hub or a safe area where Clive can return in between his adventures.
まあ、例えばこのアジトには、こういったカローンのショップがあります。
So inside the Hideaway, Clive will find different facilities, such as this shop run by Lady Karen.
まあ、武器とか、
And here, Clive can buy weapons,
防具とかアクセサリ
gear,
ーとか、
accessories.
もち
I hope they do something fascinating with the gear, right? I hope they do some fascinating thing where you can upgrade gear in interesting ways or something like that. Instead of just like the most uninteresting thing they can possibly do with the gear is like new sword, new armor, buy new sword, buy new armor, right? I hope that they do something kind of like interesting, at least in terms of the actual like upgrade paths or customization or anything like that.
もちろんポーションの補充なんかもね
As well as
行います
the items like potions, the consumables.
で他にはトルガルが寝てる
Oh, Torgal's sleeping. Aw.
こちらにはですね、腕利きの鍛冶屋ブラックソーンがいます
And here we have the Hideaway's master blacksmith, Blackthorn.
このブラックソーンのところでは、クライブが手に入れてきた素材アイテムを使って
Cool! And this is great. This is at least something. You're gonna have to go hunt shit to get the upgrade materials. And that's not really anything revolutionary, but it's fun, right? It is fun.
新しい武器や防具を作ったり、今まで使っている武器や防具のアップグレードを行ったりすることができます
Here, Clive can bring the materials that he's gathered on his journey to craft new gear or upgrade his existing gear.
他にもですねこのアジトだと、向こうにちょっとアイコン出ていますが、サイドクエストの発行これ世界中に散らばってはいるんですけどより多くのサイドクエストここからも発行されてます
As you can see there in the background with those exclamation points, those are side quests that start from the Hideaway.
There's a
Of course,
chicken!
There are also side quests that will start in other locations as well, but most of them start from here.
This is just offline FF14. Offline, single player focused FF14.
Oh, nice cloak. I want one.
I want one そしてこちらのストーンもぜひ覚えておいてください
All right, and next up we have this item that's called the Arete Stone.
アクセスするとですね、コンバットをトレーニングする、別時間別時空の
Arcade mode? What
ルー
the
ムがあ
fuck?
ったり
So within this virtual kind of world, we have special supplementary content such as battle training.
そしてこちら
Replay any previous cleared stage and be awarded score based on performance. Restrictions on level gear consumables are applied. Gameplay mode will be defaulted to action focused. Oh. They want you to blast this shit. Devil May Cry mode. Yep. Literally grade me, bitch. Grade my shit, bitch.
世界中の腕に覚えのあるプレイヤーとバトルのスコアを競い合うア
Oh, man.
ーケードモードも用意されてます
We also have what's called an arcade mode, where players can compete for high scores and compare their scores with players from around the world on the leaderboard.
そして一度クリアした
So
ストーリー、ステージを再度リプレイするっていったことも、こちらのストーンからできる
Treasure coffer data is retained. Replay any previous cleared stage, but at the current level. Huh.
ますのでぜひ活用してですねいろんなやり込みにチャレンジしていただければと思います
And of course, we also have a stage replay. So any of the stages that players have played and completed, they can go back and replay them at any time.
Oh, thank you, Angel.
Question? What's that? No.
Question
Question.
Secret
Secret.
Mystery bullshit.
Okay.
Ah!
というわけで、このアジトを中心にですねクライブいろんな活動をしていくんだよというのを覚えておいてください
So again, this is that safe zone where Clive can go at any time in his journey. And so when you need a break for the main story, the hideaway is where the fun continues.
はいでは一回パワーポイント戻りましょう
All right, so let's return to the PowerPoint for now.
止まらなくてよかった
Whew, I'm glad it didn't freeze.
ありがとうございますなんかミスったらね開発チームにめっちゃ怒られるからね
Yeah, I mean, if you froze it, then you couldn't go back to Japan. Everyone would be like, "Ah, you ruined it."
さあでは次のフォローアップいきましょう
All right, let's go to the next burning question.
I hate QTE
I hate QTE.
I wonder what they're going to say in response to this, because the game has them, right? It just has them.
人によってね好き嫌いもちろん分かれるとは思うんですがちょっとフォローさせてください。
Again, we know that the
Before they give the answer, QTEs are not the way to go, just in general. The issue with the QTEs we saw in 16 is that they looked like early 2000s QTEs, right? Where they were not interesting. It was just like hit button and now do this. They weren't like contextual actions too much. They were like super simple, and it gave you like a long time to press any of the attacks. It wasn't even like engaging QTEs like Asura's Wrath, which actually does have fantastic quick time events. Like if you want the ultimate quick time event thing where it's like, oh, what is amazing in this game? It's the QTEs. That's a very weird thing to say that's a positive, but Asura's Wrath actually does have fantastic QTEs, you know?
opinion on QTEs varies greatly amongst players.
まずそのファイナルファンタジー16のそのカットシーン、これって QTE なのかと言われると、
But there's the question. So, are all of Final Fantasy XIV's battle cutscenes QTE driven?
答えはノーです。
And the answer to that is no.
まあ正直に言うと、たくさんのこうキーの入力を要求されるようなそのシチュエーションっていうのは、まあ、カットシーン中にディレクターの高井も僕も正直言うとあんまり好きではないです。
Just as is the case with a lot of players, neither the director Takai-san or myself really enjoy those QTEs that are overly long or really, really complex.
じゃあ今までそのメディアツアーで見てきたその動画で QTE っぽく見えるのはなぜなのかっていうのをちょっとご紹介しますね。
But again,
I'll give a more modern, like recent example of QTEs that I think are actually super good, right? You know, in Resident Evil 4 Remake, when you have enemies that come in, like the big hammer guys, and then they suddenly start doing hammer spins against you, and they get close to you, what do you have to press? There's a QTE that pops up. It's literally a friggin' QuickTime event, and it's duck, and it's the duck button. Those are great. I feel like those require a lot from you, like immediately, and it gives you a nice little cool, like cutscene practically that, oh, you hit the dodge, the evasion stuff, right? I actually don't mind that, where like you have to do a backflip with Leon. Those are QTEs, dude. Those are, the Capcom said they removed the QTEs from the game, but those are like way, way better. I think those are way more inclusive and part of the actual action of the game, you know?
and you know, we all saw the screenshots, we all saw the gameplay footage. There was QTE. Let me explain what that was.
まずファイナルファンタジー16のボスバトルっていうのは多数のフェーズがあります。
So in Final Fantasy XVI, we have a lot of different boss battles, and in those boss battles, they're split up into multiple phases.
皆さんがですねクライブを操作して敵のヒットポイントをある程度削ると、まあ、バトルフェーズが進むっていう概念になってます。
During each phase, again, Clive will wail away on a boss until its hit points get to a certain amount. And when the boss's hit points are reduced to that amount, the battle will transition to a new phase.
でこれらを今回16ではローディングなしで作っていってるため、このフェーズの切り替わりのタイミングに大きくバトルステージが壊れたりと
It's a
か、
loading thing.
クライブとボスの立ち位置がこう入れ替わったりとか、いろんなシチュエーションが発生するようになってます。
And again, in Final Fantasy XVI, this transition is all done seamlessly. And so we'll have these cutscenes that will help us transition, whether it be a transformation of the boss, or whether it be the environment, something is happening in the environment, something's breaking down, or Clive needs to be in a new position.
この時にただ皆さんが見てるだけではなくて、クライブがかっこよく動いた時に単純に攻撃か回避だけをやってもらうことで臨場感を作るためのものだと思ってください。
And so in these transition cutscenes, rather than just have the player sit back and watch the cutscene and do nothing, to give you all that a dynamic feel, like you're really in the action, we've added these simple prompts for attack and evasion.
なので、はいはあ
Oh, we have a message.
見てる方に配信ラグがある。
It says that there's a little bit of lag on the live stream.
大丈夫なの今ライブストリーム
Is it
Oh,
okay?
no.
Yeah, it's
今
okay.
は OK なんだすいませんライブストリームの方なんか配信遅延があったようで申し
They'll
訳ない
be
です
fine.
So yeah, we want to apologize to everyone watching. We're really sorry for the lag.
後ほどぜひアーカイブの方をご覧いただけると助かります
Yes, the whole panel will be archived, so if you're missing anything, you'll be able to watch it later.
改めてすいません途中でなんですが、
This is what we're doing.
カットシーン中にイベントが発生した時、これを何か失敗したとしてもゲームオーバーになることは一切まずありません
We want to assure you with is that while missing a QTE will change the outcome of a cutscene transition, it will never result in a game over.
入力全編通してあるのは3つだけです、攻撃を行う時の四角ボタンを押す、それから回避する時の R1 ボタンを押すそれか簡単に、攻撃ボタンを連打するこの3つしか存在しないので、ぜひコントローラーからその手を離さずにクライブと一緒になって、バトルっていうのを楽しんでもらいたいという演出のものだというふうに思ってください
So also, there are only 3 types of these commands that are ever used. Attack, pressing square, evade, pressing R1, or a clash where you button mash the square. And again, these are used to correspond to what's actually going on in the cutscene. So when there's a cutscene, you don't have to put your controller down. You can keep holding onto it, take up the part of Clive, really be a part of the battle.
ちなみに入力の受付時間も非常に長いので
The reasoning
そも
makes
そもクイックです
sense,
ら
you
ない
know?
And also, with these mini QTEs that we have in the game, again, the amount of time that you get to press the button is actually, you have a lot of time. It's not actually that quick.
なので スロー
Slow time event, STE.
Yeah, that was my issue with it.
まあまあでもそれぐらいのものだと思ってあまり気にせずにいていただけると助かります
Again, it's not something the players are going to need to worry about during the battles. They're very leisurely.
はいでは次のセクション行きましょう
All right, let's go up to the next burning question.
あ
Oh, yeah, yeah.
これはでも正直気持ちがもちろんわからないわけではないです
Again, I really, really understand this as a player myself.
なのでまず最初に本当にすいません
And
ご
so
め
I'm
ん
going
な
to
さ
start
い
off I apologize. I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry, we
Yeah.
did it a different way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
僕らはもちろん開発チームもターンベースの RPG は大好きですそれで育ってきてるので我々も
Again, but just like you, again, we on the dev team, we all love turn-based games. Again, we grew up on turn-based games.
ただそれと同じぐらいもしかしたら今それ以上にやっぱりアクションゲームが僕ら自身大好きなので今回はそのアクションを盛り込んだファイナルファンタジーというものに挑戦させていただきました
And again, but we also really, really love action games, maybe even a little bit more now that we're older. And we wanted to take this opportunity to make the next Final Fantasy into something that was going to challenge ourselves. And we wanted to challenge ourselves with making a full action-based Final Fantasy game. Something that
Good on you.
shows the world the potential of the series.
ただちゃんとお約束します誰もが楽しめるゲームにしっかり仕上がってます
But Final Fantasy XVI isn't just for those players who excel at action games. We want everyone to play it. Even that guy, right there. In the third row, I think I talked to him earlier. He said, Koji, I'm not good at action games. Like, no, it's for everyone, even you.
俺は何も言ってないからな
There will be a match square to do cool shit.
多分やれる
There
アク
always
ションゲーム
is.
He can? That guy can? Okay. But not that guy. He told me this morning.
分かった分かったじゃあどうやってそのアクションゲームが苦手だっていう人にとってもこの「ファイナルファンタジー16」が楽しめるゲームになってるのかこれもちょっと実機でご紹介しようと思います
But again, to make the game both accessible and enjoyable to everyone, we developed these in-game equipable items known as the timely accessories that make the game accessible. And we're going to show you how they work using
Oh, yeah, the auto
PlayStation
parry
5.
items,
Go
that
back
kind of stuff, yeah.
To the PlayStation 5 screen. Okay, we need to go to a different area.
Yes area change
Area change.
Yeah.
There, please. No. Save number 2, 3.
3
Yes, 3.
おい喜んでるよ
Yay. 1, 2, 3.
That was 2 seconds. Damn. Very fast.
今回ちょっとまた新しいエリアでバトルを紹介してみようかなと思ってます。
Okay, so we're going to go to a different section of the area that we did the walkthrough before.
Oh,
まず
Just
クライブの、現在のギアですが、このアクセサリー何も装備されてません。
Okay, so this is the gear equipped screen, and we see at those bottom three slots for accessories, we have nothing equipped in the accessory slots.
普通にクライブのこの召喚獣の切り替えというのは、こちらの L2 ボタンを
Cool.
So by pressing the L2 button, that cycles through the three icons that you have channeled.
じゃあ僕が全てマニュアルでちょっと敵と戦ってみようかなと。
Okay, so first we're going to go through a battle, and this is all manual.
Gunslinger.
We have none of the helpful accessories equipped.
まず回避は R1 ですね。
So you press R1 to evade. See him evading there.
で仲間たちはオートで戦います。
And then you have Jill and Torgal are fighting automatically.
今うまくかわしますね。
That was a good judge.
でもかわせないと。
And that was a bad one. Dodge.
yeah. So you got precise timing dodges, precision dodges. Oh, precision dodges look like they bring down like Bayonetta timers.
You're pretty good.
Thank you で、ウィルゲージを
And here's some
削ると
contextual stuff, right?
ダウ
Oh,
ン
this is
状態
the stagger gauge. Never
And
mind.
each enemy has of these larger enemies have what's called a will gauge. When you get their will down to 0, they will be staggered and fall like this.
The will to
And
live
for
is
free-for-all
lost.
on the down enemy.
This looks pretty fucking amazing, dude. It's funny how just the game by itself, in like a big open environment, is really doing it for me. This was the stuff I liked about Final Fantasy XV, you
では
know?
倒しましたね。
Even though the combat in 15 obviously wasn't polished.
How much practice?
え
How much
4
practice?
times?
4 times?
まあ今のが、何も、サポートつけてない状態。
Yeah, this is like, I'm not even kidding you, Kingdom Sean, you're right. This is essentially what I think, not just myself, but I think most people are looking from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think that's a fair comparison now that we actually see the size of these zones and environments. There's like a road, you know, like all this kind of shit. There's a path that you can obviously take, but deviating in different directions. Larger zones, but not exactly open world, you know? There's not going to be like dead areas that just have mostly nothing to do, right? I feel like this is essentially the exact model that we are looking for from 7 Part 2.
フルのアクションだと思っていただければいいです。僕なんて全然下手な方なんで。
All right, and again, that was with none of the helpful timely accessories equipped. And so, again,
I'd be
I'm
really
not
happy with that.
as good as this as a lot of players are, but that's what it's like at the base difficulty.
But then it's like, oh, but they made the same fucking game, right? At that point, you say, oh, but they wouldn't want to do that. They made the same game twice. 16 and 7-2 are too similar. And to that I say, no, this is a single character action RPG, right? Single character game. 7 Remake Part 2 is 100% just going to push the limits of what the team stuff is all about, where you're piloting other characters and switching between the few is going to be like a massive thing. And I think the PHS type shit, this is what I would do. The PHS will allow you to instantly tag in other characters if need be. If you need to pull in Yuffie or something like that while Aerith is doing shit, you can. And then Yuffie can immediately kill the flying enemy or some shit. Or Barrett can take out the flying enemy. You know, that would be amazing. Like FF10 practically. Yeah, FF10 allowed switch on the fly. You know, make the PHS that. There's only 3 active characters, but you can bring in anybody at any point.
ここでですね、ちょっとアクションゲーム苦手だという方におすすめのサポートアクセサリーご紹介します。
Again, we can understand that even that can be very overwhelming for players that aren't used to action type of games. And so now we want to equip the timely accessories.
今回、ファイナルファンタジー16難易度を選択するといったような考え方
So this heals
ありません。
automatically when you're
この
low.
アクセサリーを使うことで
Automatically
アクション
dodges.
の自分の苦手なポイント
This is
を
smart.
補ってくれる。これをつけることで誰でもア
This
ク
is
ション
just
ゲームを
smart.
楽しめると いうふうに作ってます。
So again, with Final Fantasy XVI, we don't have the traditional difficulty system where you choose like easy mode or normal mode or hard mode. The difficulty is the same, and we change the difficulty, and each player can customize their own difficulty by equipping or unequipping these timely accessories to basically match their own skill level.
では今回はこの5つのアクセサリーの中
Gotcha. So that's unfortunate that there's no actual like harder mode. There's no actual hard mode in the game. It's just which assistance items are you going to choose to put on?
からオートアタックをまずつけます。
So first off, we're going to equip what's called
Granted, I like to play all my video games in manual, not automatic, for the most part. So,
the
I
Ring
will
of
not be
Timely
equipping
Strikes,
anything.
which automates the attacks.
さっきの僕のマニュアル操作とクライブがどれぐらい動き変わるか見ててください。
So we want you to see what it's, compare it to what you saw before. Before, it's fully manual, having to press all of the buttons and all of the combinations to do the attacks.
Manual and
This
automatic.
condenses it all down into the square button only. And we wanted you to see how that differs.
もう一つが、
Oh, they said there's going to be a hard difficulty after beating it. That's fine. In New Game Plus, that's actually great. That's actually the way to do it.
オートスローリング。
And the next up, we're going to equip what's called the Ring of Timely
Oh,
Focus.
they call it the Final
こち
Fantasy
らはですね
difficulty. That's right. Well, I remember
攻撃
hearing
クライブ
that.
を相手から攻撃を受けそうになると、その数フレーム前からゲーム全体がスローになるので、ゆっくり回避を、しっかり自分でその手で選択することができるようになります。
And with this ring, what happens is when something is about to attack Clive, or there's an incoming attack, right before it hits Clive, the game will slow down and Clive will be prompt to press R1 to evade out of the way. So it basically slows down the action to allow for easier evasion.
You know what I would hope? But the thing I like about this, and this is fine, right? This is all just fine. I do hope that there is a situation with games that choose accessibility like this to reward the skilled player. There should be like a thing that gets you like higher grades or more bonuses or something. Just reward the thing that takes high skill with some kind of incentive. Right? Incentivize it in some way because there needs to be a reason for you to get better. There should always be an evolving purpose behind harder games or games that have challenging things that give the users a reason to want to do the difficult thing. And I've said this for fighting games for years that, right, if you do an auto combo, it should be limited. But if you do the full combo, then you actually can do way more and get more damage, right? So you're incentivized to have that improvement.
ではさっきの相手より強そうな
All right, let's
ク
look
アー
for
ル
a
を
different animal. Let's find, before we was
Corel.
a Storm Panther, now let's find the stronger Curl.
見ててくださいね。
Damn, that thing's, wow, it's
Must
tendrils.
go
Holy
again.
shit.
All right, so now we're going to do
Yokemas.
attack. We're going to dodge one of the attacks.
Cool. You know what? Cool.
これ R1 を押すだけですね。
I call the assault jerk in chat. Right? If it drops the assault jerk and I call it.
あ、自分で避けちゃった。
Oh, that was good. Yes, just pressing
This is cool.
R1 at the prompt.
I mean, it's insanely easy, but it's fine. It looks cool too.
連続でも
And then like this as well, when there's multiple attacks in a
で今度
row,
は
each one will
四
stop.
角
And now
オートア
next
タ
Yeah,
ッ
and
ク
he's just mashing square.
the auto attack. And now he's only pressing square and he's able to do these
よい
combinations.
しょ。
What'd I tell you? Like that'll be in the game.
You can
It's got
play
a Street Fighter
one-handed.
6 mode.
Cool.
And they have to do this, right?
だからここまでそのサポートしてもらうと本当片手でもこれぐらい遊べちゃいます。
And again, you know, the Ring of Timely Focus and the Ring of Timely Strikes condense the action down into something so simple that you can play with one hand.
もちろんだからこのオートスローだけをつけてアクションはね自分でやるっていうのも楽しみ方の一つなんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Again, another option, again, because these can be
This is the most Japanese looking game. Yeah, it's true. And like honestly, like a good way.
combined in any way you want. For example, if this is too easy, maybe only equip the Ring of Timely Focus that helps you with evasion, but then decide to do all of the action manually.
Dan, did I just see like
はい
ignition
そうしました
shit?
ねありがとうございます。
There you go.
まあもちろん今オートスローリングをつけてるので攻撃を受ける直前にスローになりますが、まあその回避自体をもう全部オートにしてしまうっていうアクセサリーも用意しているので、プレイヤーの皆さん一人一人がどんなスタイルでこのゲームを遊びたいか、そこをぜひチョイスしながら、自分で、楽しめる楽しみ方っていうのを見つけられるようになってます。
Again, in addition to these two that we've shown you already, there are many more of the timely accessories. There's even one, for example, if slowing down time is still too much for some players, we have an accessory that will completely automate evasion, so you don't even have to press anything and you'll dodge out of the way automatically. So it's all about finding what's difficult for you, what's easy for you, and finding a combination that works.
まあぜひね、ストーリーを楽しみたいんだという方はいろんなサポートを使いながら、でもちろんその例えばアクションに自信があるよという方は全て外してですね、さっき紹介したアーケードモードなんかでスコアアタックをするときは当然サポートアクセサリーつけてない方がスコアが高くなるようになってます。
Again, so for those players that just want to focus on the story and just want to see the narrative and don't want to have to worry about action, there are a lot of accessories that will simplify a lot of stuff and make it easy for even new players. On the other hand, if there's those players out there that know I'm great at action games, I want to challenge myself, take off all the accessories and play it on its hardest mode. We also have other types of battle content that will challenge those players as well. For example, the arcade mode that we showed you before, where if you wear these accessories, you're going to get a lower score, so you're going to take those off.
And there you go. And then suddenly, any concern you have is completely alleviated. Because when you have the accessories on, your score is lowered. You get less rewards.
And play the game in the sense where you can.
And that's the way you do it.
And get those high scores and get on the top of the leaderboard.
そして世界中でですね、ファイナルファンタジー16使ってストリーミングしようと思ってくださってる方もいると思います。ストリーマーの皆さんにですね、この今画面の左上にクライブが今どんなサポートアクセサリーつけてるか一目で表示されるようになってます。ですのでいちいち視聴者の皆さんにどういう装備で戦ってるか紹介しなくても、一目で分かるようになってます。
And again, we know that with these timely accessories, one thing that might happen is that you're going to have streamers that are going to want to be streaming how good they are, and they'll be like, wait a minute, is this guy using, the timely accessories to make everything easy? Well, for streamers, we have on screen, if you see at the top left hand, it will show you which of the accessories that you're equipping at that time. So again, streamers won't be able to cheat, and they won't have to go in and show their audience, oh, I have this one off, or
Damn. Shame mode. Yoshi P should just be like, hey, so we're calling this shame mode for streamers. Right? If you're at home, who cares? Right? But if your skills are on display and you have shame mode on, then no. Then sorry. This is clearly, you're running the game in automatic.
Have it on, you'll always be able to know right up there in the top left.
Yes.
And you know what? That almost is like, right? That almost is, in my situation, like one of the best things that you could do, right? Why am I blocking? Oh, am I blocking it? Look, it's up here. Yeah, there's a shame mode. I'm hiding my shame. Yeah, that is, for the sake of a very small, insanely insignificant percentage of people that will be making content around the game, right? Compared to the overall breadth of people that will be actually playing it, where that won't matter. Nobody will give a shit if that's on the screen or not. But if you are making content and you have shame mode on, it is going to be an issue. That is literally, which icon is it? I think it's all of these. It might be like, I don't know. It might be like a lot of these or something like that. They should just call it shame mode.
But I guess, yeah, I think we're done showing battle. But the title of our, panel is "Can you pet the Torgal?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can pet the.
Yeah.
No. Not that Torgal. That Torgal. Can you pet the Torgal?
Torgal.
The Torgal. Aww. Oh! No!
That was
そう
terrible.
あしょんぼりしちゃった
Can you kill the Torgal? No. Tet. Tet.
Good.
Yeah.
That was the best thing that could have happened. This guy just like friggin' like Nero ignition
Torgal.
rev on the dog.
ごめんごめん単純にボタン間違っちゃっ
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
たはい、というわけでですね
Violent
トルガルもぜ
petting.
ひたくさん可愛がってあげてください
So yes, you can pet the Torgal. All right, let's go
That
back
was
to the
super
PowerPoint.
funny.
はい実機でしたありがとうございましたでは、そろそろ最後のセクション行こうと思います
Okay, next up, we go on to the next question.
召喚獣バトル、この前
This is
公
a
開した
fantastic, by the way, this is a fantastic presentation. What a great time I'm fucking having right now.
と対ガルーダ、まあ、かなり重量級のバトルでしたであのバトルちょっとゲームの序盤であることもあって皆さんに操作に慣れてもらうためにあえて結構簡単な作りにしてあります
So we had some players wondering about whether the Eikon versus Eikon battles are going to be all the same. At the media tour, we allowed the media to try out the Ifrit versus Garuda battle. And as this is one of the first Eikon versus Eikon battles that appear in the game, the overall difficulty is fairly low. You can think of it as an Eikon versus Eikon tutorial.
じゃあイベントバトルなのかというとやっぱこれも答えはノーになります
But again, not all of them are going to be the same.
召喚獣バトルテーマごとに、バトルシステムが異
Oh,
なっ
they're
て
gonna
る
give
んで
us
す
a
が
look at it?
これをなかなか言葉で伝えるのは難しいのでストーリーのスポイラーにならないギリギリでまた新しい動画ちょっといくつか持ってきましたのでご覧いただいた方が早いかなと思います
All right, as the story progresses, Clive gets more used to his icon. The battles will get speedier and more complex and more challenging. And again, showing you too much of these may result in some major spoilers, but we did put together a quick video that shows you just enough. So let's take a look at some of those icon versus icon
I have no
battles.
context. I'm down. I want to see some wild and shit. What the hell? Typhoon? Oh wow, a crazy ass aerial mobility. Oh shit. Oh, this is fucking cool, dude. Oh, this is some Final Fantasy 15 shit here. Or God of War 3. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's a oh my. We were talking about this. It's like a Panzer Dragoon sequence. Oh my god! Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Cool.
ありがとうございました
Thank you.
まあちょっと
Cool.
なかなかユニークなシステムだけに実態ご紹介しきれないんですがこの先もですね少しずつまた召喚獣バトル動画ベースで、出していくことで、いろんなエキサイトメントが待ってるんだよということを伝えていければと思ってます
As you saw, the battles in Final Fantasy XVI can sometimes prove a little unorthodox, but they're very unique and they're very exciting. And we're really excited to show you even more and have more to show you in the near future.
では最後なんですがこちらは結構リクエストが多かったです RPG とかやり込み要素どうなってんのと
Again, so now our final concern has to do with the game content outside of battles. We've seen the action, but what about the RPG?
もちろんあります
Again.
Did we,
have
though?
RPG elements too.
Did we though? Wow, that response.
ただもう時間がなくなったので
RPG elements in April.
4月以降また情報この RPG 要素やり込み出し
I said this. This is literally a thing that I said. This is not. I'm not. I'll take fucking full credit. You know, I was critical about this, and I was like, are they gonna have like stats and stuff? Can we like make builds or something like that? Can we do that? I definitely said some similar
していきます
shit.
のでぜひ注目してお待ちください
Again, our counter clock says 000,
Yes.
so we're out of time. But in the very, very near future, we're going to be releasing more information on the RPG elements of Final Fantasy XVI.
はい
Cool.
まあでは時間もなくなってしまったので最後ねちょっ
Yes. 0.5% fire resistance increased. Congratulations.
と改めてなんですが、こちら、ファイナルファンタジー16、2023年6月22日全世界同時発売です
All right, so Final Fantasy XVI on sale worldwide June 22nd, 2023.
Dude, 2023 is crazy.
ぜひですねまあ今のところほぼ
This
ほぼ
year
予
is
定通り
crazy.
発売しますのでぜひ予約をしてお待ちください
And we don't expect any delays.
No delay
No delays. And so if you haven't already pre-ordered, please pre-order today.
Yes today and every day
Please buy our
Pre-order
game.
every day.
それではすいません駆け足になりましたが最後まで、
Alright, this was
このパネ
great,
ル
man.
ありがとうございました
This was fantastic. Please buy our game every day. We spent a lot of time and money on this. Cool. I feel more confident about Final Fantasy XVI after that presentation. This was some of the best PR they could have possibly had done, which is directly address the biggest concerns that your audience might have been expressing from the little bit of gameplay they showed. And I feel that if you are on the fence of Final Fantasy 16 and you're not completely sold on it, you need to watch this shit. 1000%. I had some concerns. I'm like, is this pretty much going to be an Asura's Wrath game? I'm cool with that. You know what? I'm fine with that. But I would kind of like, and then all the things I mentioned were the things that other people mentioned that showed up in there. So to me, like, this completely sold me on the game. I am fucking down. This shit's going to be wild. This game's going to be friggin' sick, dude.